Hey there guys, Pwnobi here bringing another Pokemon narrated Wi-Fi battle. This is going to be the finale of my Ancient NU little series. Hopefully you guys are really going to enjoy it. It was versus Cote1616pb, linked below. This is one of the first NU battles he ever had. I believe it was the first battle we ever had. So yeah, hopefully you guys are going to enjoy it. Let's go ahead and get into it. He leads with a Sand Slash. I'm leading with my Scarf Beedrill. Obviously not a good matchup for me. He can set up Stealth Rocks. He can pretty much do whatever he wants. So I'm going to U-turn out to my own Sand Slash. My Sand Slash actually has knockoff, so I was thinking that I might have the advantage, because if he packs Stone Edge, Night Slash, or any other offensive move, something other than like Super Fang, knockoff, Toxic, I'd have a significant matchup there. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the knockoff, as he went to Mantine, so that's a great thing to knock off. They're commonly rest talkers, so they like to stay in for extended periods of time, so not having that leftovers recovery can really put a lot of pressure on him. And I go into my C runnings as he went for the Signal Beam. No big deal there. I mean, yeah, it's super effective damage, but it's unstabbed from a defensive poke on a defensive poke, so it doesn't really do much. And he actually switches into Shedinja on my Toxic. So it's an early 6-5 for me, although every single poke on my team has a way to deal with Shedinja. So it really sucks for him, but Shedinja in general is just a really bad poke against this team. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Light Screen as he brought in his Electabuzz, or while his Electabuzz went for the substitute. Pretty much the reason I did that is because I wasn't afraid of any move he wanted to go for, including the Thunderbolt, because that's a specially defensive variant of my Slowking. And I could set up the Light Screen, easily take another Thunderbolt and slack off if he went for multiple Thunderbolts. And that way I can go to my Sand Slash and be able to tank HP Ices if he carries it relatively well. So he went for the Cross Chop. It's not going to do too much, especially because I'm a physical variant, so I'm guessing he doesn't have the Hidden Power Ice, as I broke his substitute with an Earthquake. So now I'm going to go for the Rapid Spin here, predicting his switch, but he has a Spin Blocker, so that was a great play by him to go into that, easily making it so that Stealth Rocks stay on the field. So I'm going to go into my Entei, because Entei is actually a pretty decent Dusclops counter. I just get the immunity to the Will-O-Wisp, as we see there, and if he's a set that only carries S-Toss and support moves, then I can set up on him with Calm Mind Entei, but unfortunately for me, he carries Earthquake. I guess for little weird scenarios like these. I'm not sure what other pokes he needs Earthquake for. Maybe those Rock Steel types or something. But it's gonna be great for him, and it's gonna force me out. So I took a lot of unnecessary damage with my Entei there. Really unfortunate. Gonna go ahead and go into my C runnings. Props if you get the reference there. And obviously I can just slack off on the switch. I can go for Toxic. I do have to go for Toxic since nothing on his team is poisoned at this stage of the game, and I haven't seen anything that's going to want to take it. As you can tell, I'm speeding up certain parts of this video because this was a doozy of a battle. Very long, lots of intense switching and strategy plays, etc. So here we're having a little bit of a stall war because neither of us have a good counter to each other's poke. I really don't have anything for Mantine except for my Entei with Hidden Power Electric, but I don't want to switch that thing in, especially with Stealth Rock still up, with no Wish passing being utilized on my team in this current form, and all that kind of stuff. So we're just sitting in here trading. He gets Confusion Hacks, so I figure it's a good chance for me to switch out to my Meganium. You saw a little Skype thing pop up there, no big deal. And he gets Confusion Hacks on my Meganium, so I switch back into my Slowking. Either way, every time I switch, I'm not using PP and he is, so overall it's helping if it comes down to a PP stall in the late game. And even a Signal Beam is super effective against both Slowking and Meganium. It doesn't really do too much damage. Although it is a pretty good option for Mantine, especially when a lot of walls like Hypno, Slowking, Meganium are all weak to Bug. It kind of chips away at them, puts pressure on them into forcing them into recovery moves, which could afford you free switches into sweepers. But he decides to go into Sand Slash here. I don't know what his thought process was in going to Sand Slash. Maybe he thought he could just take a Psychic much better than that. Maybe he was predicting me to switch back to Meganium. Now that would be a great idea. Maybe he was predicting some kind of other switch. I really don't know what his thought process was there, because he's just going to get taken out by a couple of Psychics, and Night Slash on his part is not going to do hardly anything. So maybe that's just his inexperience with the NU tier during the time that we had this battle, not really understanding how we would trade hits and that it would be advantageous for me. But he brings in this Gardevoir. I'm going to go into my own Sand Slash. And the reason I went into Sand Slash is because I thought he would be a wall Gardevoir with like Will-O-Wisp and Wish, because those are the ones that I normally see, especially on a team as defensive as this. And with his Sand Slash out of the way, I thought it was a good chance for me to either Rapid Spin or force him to switch out to his Dusclops. but he was an offensive Gardevoir, Scarf or Specs, probably Scarf based on the damage I did to Beedrill. So he actually was managing to take me out there. So that's really, really unfortunate. And I predicted his switch because I thought the U-turn was too obvious. So I went for Pursuit, but he predicted that. So that was a great play by him to predict my Beedrill Pursuit. And it put a lot of pressure on me. He's really making a big comeback with this Gardevoir. So I switched up to my Meganium just because I know that I have that recovery, that synthesis, which I am going to go for immediately. If he wants to stay in, I could eventually go for Leech Seed and make a more favorable switch if I so desire, etc., etc. But no, he goes to Dusclops. I don't really understand why he... Well, it's not that I don't understand why he goes to Dusclops, but Dusclops I don't think can beat me in a one-on-one because I carry Aromatherapy on this Meganium, and Will-O-Wisp only has 75% accuracy. So I'm pretty sure that along with Leech Seed, I can easily outstall the continuous Will-O-Wisp and Seismic Toss damage. So he goes for the Pain Split, reveals Pain Split here. I kind of assumed that he would have either Pain Split or Rest Talk, and considering that he had Earthquake, Pain Split is the pretty obvious option there. Gonna go for the Leech Seed on his Mantine just so I can put pressure on this thing, hopefully force it out considering that it doesn't have leftovers. But I am gonna miss, which is a little unfortunate. Not a big deal, just go for it again. As he continues to stay in, fire off Signal Beams, kind of just waiting for me to whittle him down to the point where he can rest up again, so he'll be back up to full when he decides to bring it in at a later date. But right now, as it stands, we're having a lot of little stall wars, where I feel like I have the upper hand because I can put pressure on his team where he isn't able to put too much on mine, thanks to the fact that I have an Aromatherapist, whereas he doesn't have a Heal Beller. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And whoa, crap, my audio just cut out. But I'm back. I went for the Toxic on the switch. He went to Gardevoir just to get that synchronized, put it back onto my Slowking. Also, he can start firing off Psychic, knowing that it'll do the most damage to anything else on my team. But thankfully for me, I am going to predict that and stay in, go for that Slack Off, knowing that he probably is choiced and he's not going to want to go for the Shadow Ball. Just in case I switch and then he's stuck in an unfavorable matchup. He has to take Rocks damage and Poison coming in on another time. I went to Sharpedo to get the immunity to the Psychic that I figured he was locked into, but he switched out to Mantine, so now I'm forced to go back into my Meganium just to continue our little cat and mouse, our little dance, our little stall war. And whew, this game is exceptionally long, so while a little bit of this stall goes on, I thought I'd give you some fun facts on the background of this game. This is like my gajillionth time narrating this, by the way. My narration has been cutting out, so sorry if I sound a little unenthused at certain portions. But, Cote1616pb and I, this is the first battle we ever had. We've had tons of battles. We had like a Region Wars battle. We've had multiple NU tier battles, including one that I just did, the Mosh Pit that I mentioned in my other video. We've done UU tier battles. We've actually done a lot of UU tier battles, like at least 2 or 3 or 4. Although I don't think either party of us has really uploaded those, so maybe I'll upload one of those one day. We did like Ubers, I think we did NFE. We've done a lot of that kind of stuff, Region Wars, if I didn't already mention that. So just for fun, I'm in the description. I'm going to link all the games I can find that either I or Cote1616pb have uploaded of games of us with each other. So if you're ever just like bored and in the mood to see some classic Pwnobi vs. Cote action, I'll leave a list of those videos in the description. All that's happening in the actual battle that you're seeing on screen is him trying to PP stall me out with Dusclops, which hopefully will come to a close in the near future so we can get on with how each of us decides to deal with the other threats on the team. So I'm actually going to go to my Entei here, predicting him to go for like Pain Split. But he's going to make a really great play. He's going to predict me to go to the Entei for the Pain Split bait, and he's going to switch out to his Electabuzz. Now, he goes for Cross Chop here, which is a pretty crucial mistake. I don't know what his EV investment is if he's mixed. I mean, obviously he has mixed attacks, but I don't know how his EVs support that. Because that Cross Chop did jack diddly balls, and I have no defense investment at all on this Entei. So I'm thinking maybe he thought I had special defense EVs, considering I'm a Calm Mind Entei, although I don't. So I'm not really sure what that was about. If he had gone for the Thunderbolt, could he have taken me out? Quite possibly, because I think he was Life Orb. So that, we'll see if that costs him or anything like that. But it does give him a free switch into his Gardevoir, like pretty much the poke on his team that can do the most pressure to me. But but by going into my Meganium, I'm able to synthesis those hits off, shrug them off. I do know that I'm burned. I could go for the aromatherapy, but I'm guessing that I'm really low on the aromatherapy PP at this stage of the game. Don't really want to waste it just in case something happens. He decides to save his Gardevoir for later. I guess just hoping for that one last hit. And pretty much at this stage of the game, I actually referenced his narration of this video earlier today just to make sure I understood his thought process on all these moves. Because it has been, like half a year, I think, since this battle or something like that. But he just continuously spams Signal Beam at this point because he knows that I basically have him checkmated. The way that I've dealt with all of his offensive pokes has kind of failed him. And it's made it so all he really has left is, like, Gardevoir and, like, walls. So he pretty much just has to hope for hacks. Now, he actually went for Sleep Talk there. While he wasn't even asleep, and I can give you some backstory as to that particular play, because, fun fact, we were on Skype the entire time throughout this game, just joshing around, having fun, saying little messages back and forth, and I believe earlier on in the game he had mentioned how, we each had a couple of pokes that were walling each other significantly, and he mentioned for him his Mantine, which is definitely true, but I told him, just wait, my Entei with Hidden Power Electric will deal with it pretty easily. And he thought I was bluffing the entire game about my Entei having Hidden Power Electric. So he said, I'll go for Sleep Talk and I'll let you get a free switch into your Entei so you can kill me with Hidden Power Electric and prove that it's not like HP Grass or something. And I actually didn't get that message in time. Like, I had already clicked my move when he sent me that message, so he didn't get to see that, but I did have Hidden Power Electric on that Entei. And the battle's pretty much coming to a close here. Sorry for skipping just a tad bit portion of that. He was able to deal with my Entei pretty easily. I was pretty much just getting whatever damage I could, make it so Sharpedo can clean up. Going to go for that super effective Crunch, Stab, Life Orb, and it is going to be able to finish the game. So that was a great game, Cote, the first of many great games. Like I said, I'll leave links in the description to all the games that I can find that either of us have posted of games with us. Obviously, that will include a link to his channel if you'd like to check him out for any reason. Thank you guys for watching this video, for watching the other quote-unquote Ancient NU games. These games were, a lot of them were really long, strategic, hence the fact that I didn't upload them immediately is because they were pretty intimidating to narrate. Also, there's the fact that these games are really, really old, so I've had to, try to refresh myself with the battles to make sure that I could narrate them properly. So, hopefully, I'll be giving out a little bit more frequent content on some 5th generation, more current stuff. So, hopefully, you guys will enjoy that. I'll catch you guys later, and have a nice weekend. So, peace out.